Hello and welcome to today's Partner Infopedia web conference. This is Dynamics 365 Fast Track Tech Talk. Today's topic, gamification. Presenting with us today from Microsoft, we have James Bamford, who is a Fast Track Program Manager. Now it's my pleasure to turn you over. James, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Debbie. Good day, everyone. My name is James Bamford, and today we're going to talk about gamification for Dynamics 365. Gamification is a solution for Dynamics 365 that enables employees to participate in individual and team-based competitions that motivate them to achieve certain predefined KPIs by offering prizes, awards, privileges, and recognition. Today, we're going to talk about employee motivation and exactly how we can motivate our employees to achieve more. We'll discuss why it is important to implement gamification. We'll talk about gamification's capabilities. And then finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session. But first, let's begin and let's have a brief discussion about employee motivation. Millions of people spend a whole day at work just bored out of their minds, right? So 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, year after year, going to work and losing just a little bit more of neural activity every single day. But imagine if we could turn that around where people go to work excited and are excited to always do better, just a little bit better around the last minute of every single day, different than what it is right now. Today's employees operate in a more dynamic workplace than ever before, with more complexities and distractions. As a result, a staggering 87% of employees worldwide are not engaged in their jobs right now. But with gamification, we hope to turn that around. Of that 87%, about a third are actively disengaged. Imagine if we could increase that productivity about 5%. With 5%, we could probably save world hunger, right? But if we could even get that to 42%, which is the answer to the ultimate question of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, by the way. So, what we can do, research reveals that this trend will likely continue and accelerate. Millennials are 3 times more likely to change jobs than their predecessors. And as a result of this mobility, organizations need to train and onboard at an increasingly rapid rate. More alarmingly, traditional tactics, such as dangling financial incentives, have proven to be ineffective in increasing productivity and engagement because employees, more than ever, are seeking purpose and enjoyment over monetary rewards or simply just career advancement. Traditional motivational methods are no longer effective. Same old competitors, individual rewards, leaderboards, ladders, President's Club, Platinum Award, etc. All these have been done before. We need to move on from all of these. And what are we moving on to? So this leads us to identify those individuals who really need motivation to be successful, right? Many of you probably have participated in some sales contests before, and usually it's the same winner in every time in every traditional contest. Employees focus on winning for themselves rather than focusing on the overall organizational productivity. So those who do not think that they will win disengage very early in those contests. And those who always win are already self-motivated. So we don't really need to actually try to motivate them. We're trying to motivate the other 87%, which we talked about already. So that leads us to why implement gamification. Employee engagement is a top priority for many organizations. And in fact, it's not surprising that if it was the #1 challenge cited by organizations in a survey conducted by Deloitte. Faced with declining employee engagement and motivation, organizations need a new game plan. So with that, let's take a look at how Microsoft can help organizations improve employee engagement. Gamification for Dynamics 365 by Microsoft takes a unique, fun, and exciting approach to achieve immediate and sustained results. The solution turns work into play by letting employees team up to collaborate and compete in engaging games. The results are increased productivity, performance, and adoption of business applications. Now, all this sounds fun, and it is, but gamifying also pays off. According to analyst research, best-in-class organizations are 61% more likely to deploy gamification. Those with gamification saw 31% more first-year sales reps achieve quota and 2 times the year-over-year growth in deal size. So, because Microsoft's gamification uses exciting team-based competitions to change the culture, as a result, employees push and rely on each other while having a blast. Top performers push and rely on lower performers and vice versa. So, when there's a culture where everybody feels responsible to those around them, employees stay engaged a lot longer than they were if they just focused on their own performance. And with multiple roles, such as players and fans, which we'll talk about shortly, everyone can play. So sales reps and agents can be players, while managers and executives can be fans. Employees can earn points for anything that they're responsible for inside of Dynamics 365. For example, they can earn points for every sales call they make, every time they arrive on time at a field service call, and the quality of call handling by a customer service agent. By allowing employees to earn points and compete based on activities and behaviors they can control, it helps mitigate players dropping out when they no longer feel motivated. When employees have full control over their day-to-day activities and behaviors, they stay in contention longer. So scoring the game is a cinch with out-of-the-box integration with Dynamics 365. Second, results are highly visible to hold employees accountable, and recognition is also highly visible. So you're able to showcase top employees by streaming results and rankings to big screens across the office or call center. The added social pressure gives an extra boost to lower performers, and you're able to celebrate achievements with great fanfare by using videos of fireworks, touchdowns, champagne bottles, whatever you can think of. So multiple prizes and rewards can also be awarded, and that also helps to boost performance across the board. Finally, the solution increases adoption of the underlying business applications. One of the biggest challenges of implementing business applications is getting employees to use them, like logging calls or submitting timesheets, simple things like that, right? So most companies tend to rely on managerial pressure to achieve some sort of compliance. Instead of that, gamification can award points only when employees log activities properly and on time. This becomes a highly effective incentive for both new and existing employees. So if you can think of a way in which you're able to create a view for something inside of Dynamics 365 and you're able to track those types of metrics, then you're easily able to transform those into some sort of KPI or points and award those to your fans and to your players inside of gamification. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what that's like inside of Microsoft Gamification. So, as I mentioned, you're able to earn points for specific KPIs that you set up and use those to drive user adoption. You're able to increase engagement with multiple different game models. Gamification offers multiple game models to accommodate different types and sizes of organizations. So with fantasy teams, anyone in the company can create their own roster of players. Everybody can participate, not just sales and service reps. So for example, managers, executives, operations, finance, etc., can become invested in the success of the players by building their own personal roster or rooting for their own favorite teams. Employees can change their lineup every single week. So if an employee slacks off this week and doesn't earn any points, they can be swapped out. In addition, there are sports themes that everyone can get excited about, such as soccer, football, baseball, basketball, ice hockey, cricket, rugby, and of course, car racing. So you're able to level the playing field by using different positions. So for example, you can put all the top performers at first base if you're playing a baseball fantasy game, and all of your new performers at second and third base. You can put your customer service agents in left field and your managers in right field. This gets everybody needing to choose somebody from every tier and every role in the organization, and it allows you to break down walls by letting different roles and responsibilities participate in the same game, making them push and rely on each other even more than in past groups and past games. Also, there are fixed team games where you can create teams and assign players for the duration of the contest. This model is great for regional or location-based competitions such as Office A against Office B or East Coast versus West Coast. And then finally, there are also individual games, which are perfect for small organizations that can't support any real large team-based competitions and just kind of want to do something like a President's Club tracking, something like that, where the first to the top is going to win the game. You can run all these different types of games simultaneously with different groups, and you can change game models from game to game to keep things fresh and unique from quarter to quarter. Employees can earn points for anything they're responsible for, as I mentioned. So, for example, they can earn points for making calls, showing up on time to meetings, entering in their timesheets, etc. So because these results are highly visible to everyone in the organization, this also helps to hold employees accountable. So you're able to showcase top employees by streaming results and rankings to every big screen, or even using the mobile application. You're able to celebrate achievements with great fanfare and then move forward. You're also able to make things social, encouraging people to use Smack Talk, and even allowing employees to display past performance recognition in their own trophy case. As I mentioned, you're able to have bragging rights to every single TV in the office and celebrate victories in real time with BAM videos as they are part of the product. And of course, in mobile applications. So, with all that, let's take a look at how that is all achieved by using Microsoft gamification capabilities. Gamification is an immersive, exciting experience that engages and motivates employees to achieve more. Some great applications for Dynamics 365 that can use gamification are not limited to sales, customer service, field service, and project service automation. We can see here by the different gamification capabilities that they are structured into 4 different roles. One of commissioner, a person who oversees all the games, such as the administration across games, role management, and TV streams. A game manager, which is someone who is responsible for setting up the game, defining all the teams, defining the metrics, assigning the positions, and defining the prizes. And finally, a KPI manager, which is the only real role that is created inside of Dynamics 365. So a KPI manager will be someone who's responsible for defining the KPIs in Dynamics 365 to use in the games. And then finally, on the right-hand side, we have a distinction between our fans and our players. So our players are people who are able to earn points, badges, and trophies for all their individual activities inside of the system. They are able to draft teams if they're using a fantasy lineup. They're able to watch games that their colleagues are participating in, and they're also able to view results, whether tracking results on leaderboards, mobile, or on TV. The fan, as we mentioned, is typically someone in a managerial or executive position, and they also have the ability to draft teams, watch games, and view results, just like the player. They just do not accrue points for their activities that they are performing inside of Dynamics 365. So now with that, let's go ahead and let's dive into the gamification solution. Kicking off a new game only takes a couple of minutes. In this instance, our sales manager for a call center is going to launch a new basketball-themed game where players and fans draft or create their own teams of players. Next, the manager selects the KPIs for the game and indicates how points are awarded. So KPIs are the behavior or goals the organization wants to promote. They can be based on data that is tracked in Dynamics 365. So for each game, the game manager selects from default KPIs, which are preceded in the solution, or defines new KPIs. It's a good idea to include some KPIs that representatives and agents have full control over, such as appointments scheduled, tasks completed, and the timely submission of time sheets. This keeps more employees in the games longer. Then, the game manager assigns players to positions. So, players are the sales reps for each or agents responsible for the activities that can earn points for achieving KPIs. In this game, the players are assigned to goal, center, striker, things like that in the soccer game that we're looking at right now. This concept helps level the playing field and maximizes participation. So, for example, you can assign all the new employees to the striker position so they can compete against others with similar experience. You can consider not only experience, but also other factors such as performance and skills when assigning positions. And the more you can level the playing field, the more fair the game will be and the more fun it will be, as well as engaging. This also gets employees needing to choose somebody from different tiers and groups, and it breaks down walls by letting employees from different roles and responsibilities participate in the same game. So when building camaraderie across different silos, this helps to increase motivation overall. Next, the game manager assigns fans to the game. Fans are the people in Dynamics 365 who are not players, and they're not people who are accruing points. So as we mentioned, these are typically executives, managers, things like that, right? So fans are able to draft a team with multiple roles, such as players and fans, and everyone in the organization can play. So the CEO gets involved in the game, drafts a team, and is personally looking after player stats. That's quite an incentive to deliver the best results, as you can imagine. Finally, the game manager defines multiple award categories to recognize achievement and improvement across a variety of KPIs. So offering tiered awards for individuals and teams enables more players to receive recognition. Creating multiple ways to win also helps people to stay participated and engaged and excited throughout the duration of the game. Once the game is activated and set up, each player will create a team. Each fan can also create a team. So once teams are set up, it's time to kick off. The player or fan who creates the team acts as the team manager and can change the team roster or select different players. So for example, after a week of competition, the team manager can drop a low-performing player for another player in the hopes of increasing his team's chance of winning. Once the game is underway, participants track team performance with leaderboards that show which players and fans drafted the most successful teams. So you're able to showcase top employees by streaming results and rankings to big screens across the office or call center. The added social pressure helps give an extra boost to the lower performers. So you can celebrate the achievements with great fanfare, again, by using videos, band videos, smack talk, things like that, to help increase player motivation throughout the duration of the game. We also have additional leaderboards to recognize individual achievements, things such as the game MVP leader, which sees which players earn the most points in the current game. There is the leader by position MVP. There's the KPI leader. And there's also the weekly KPI layer, so you can see how players rank in a given week for a specific KPI. So from those, you can tell there's a lot of different options for you to have incentive for different players across your organization to achieve more by using a variety of different metrics for gamification. Throughout the game, players and fans can engage and interact with things such as Smack Talk and Bam videos by cheering each other on. And this is just a highlight of how Microsoft helps organizations create a fun and vibrant environment for employees to excel. Some recommendations that we make when setting up gamification. We recommend that try not to create a game that has more than 5 KPIs. So this way, you help your players to stay involved, but it also is not information overload. So it helps the players stay involved and stay engaged throughout the duration of the game, but also gives them multiple avenues to hope to achieve more throughout the duration of the game. And when we talk about the duration of the game, we also recommend not creating a game that lasts longer than about a month, right? So if you think about possibly a new employee joining the company in the middle of a 6-month game, if they're already joining in 3 months late, chances are they're probably not going to have a whole lot of chance to win the game, and as a result, they won't be motivated. So it's great to keep new games moving and going all the time, and try not to keep the duration longer than about a month. So that way, if you do have an instance where people go on vacation or someone joins the company at a certain part of the year, that way a new game can begin shortly thereafter, and you're able to get back in and reach those employees with different motivation opportunities. So with that concludes our Tech Talk for gamification for Dynamics 365. Are there any questions?
At this point, James, we don't have any in the queue, but I would like to call your attention, folks, to the survey link that I'm posting right now. You're going to see it in your messages window. We appreciate your feedback. It's very valuable to us. We ask that you please click the link, enter your email. You'll be taken into the survey where there are 5 questions, and our voting scale is on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the best score possible. Be sure to click at the submit button at the bottom to ensure that your feedback has been received. And with that, James, you did such an awesome job. There's no more questions. So could I get some final words for you before we conclude today's event?
Thank you very much for everyone for joining today's Tech Talk. And if you need to reach me afterwards or have any questions that you may think of later, you can reach out to me at jbamf@microsoft.com.
Awesome. Thanks, James. So, folks, that does conclude the recorded portion of today's Partner Infopedia web conference. Again, the session recording will be available on Infopedia Media within 24 hours. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenter, James, and thank you, audience, for logging in and joining us today.